Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Vick3 Presents the Post Game Panel Show. I'm here accompanied by my esteemed colleagues. I got BLSG over here, got Mitch, and I got Big Play Slay. Gentlemen, it was a tough game. We didn't come away with a win. We'll talk about it, but how y'all doing?
Doing good apart from that stupid Eagles loss. That's damn sure. Damn sure.
I just watched like a disgraceful game. We should not have been there. That's I'm doing okay.
I don't think it's a matter that we should have been there. You know what I mean? We earned the right to be in the playoffs. We weren't just good enough to win.
No, we should not have been there. I'm sorry. We should not have been there. We didn't beat a single team over 500. I'm sorry. We should not have been there. Like
All
if
right,
we
Giants
played
fan.
one
It
team
is
that
what
was
it is.
500, we would have got we should not have been there, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We sucked at it. Like, man.
We'll get into it. But also, we're joined by my guy, Jalen Williams. Jalen, thank you for coming through.
What's going on? Appreciate you having me, baby.
Yeah, man, anytime. Let's get into it. Let's start off with that first quarter. BLSG, I'm going to start off with you first. Let's just get your initial reaction. Because everyone, sounds a little raw right now. So we'll start off with you. What did you think of this game?
Oh, Vic, don't even get me started with the first quarter. Let's talk about the first half. Horrendous is the one word I need to describe this game. Horrendous. But especially that first half. The second half was where we started scoring garbage time touchdowns. Like, what is happening? Like, the positive point was for the defense even was the fact that we got 4 sacks on Tom Brady, and you know what? That still didn't stop him from winning. And our special teams, Jalen Reagor, you moron! You gotta catch the ball on punts, my guy. Like, what are you doing? 2 times you muffed punts or have let them go. Unbelievable. It's been a ridiculous game. This is not how I wanted the weekend to go, and you know what? This is just horrible.
Let me just say, for all these Cowboys fans coming through, remember, y'all are coming up now. I'm going to keep receipts. I got the bottle ready. The bottle's in the refrigerator right now. As soon as y'all lose, I'm coming back live and popping off.
Hey, I'll be over there, Vic, if you decide to give us the link or anything.
Heck yeah. But Mitch, let me get your thoughts.
Water to celebrate.
Yeah. Mitch, what are your reactions on today's game?
Do I need to say anything? I'm watching Voice for Likes video right now. I mean, that just makes me even more angry. But, Jalen Hurts.
Please put your real emotions out there, bro. I don't want none of that BS stuff. I want.
It's the end of the season. You know what I mean? There's no point in holding back now.
You better put your real.
Just wait for my video. I'm telling you right now. Just wait for my video. But look, I just gotta say this. Jalen Hurts, what the hell was that? Like, how many times did we even run the ball? Can someone please? I'm gonna look that up.
Hang on, I got you. I got it.
That was an issue. That was a big issue.
Mitch, I got you.
Go for it. I mean, we didn't run the ball. He found Devontae Smith, 2-3 times? The inaccuracy was terrible. The overthrown, the underthrown, you name it. Derek Barnett. Oh, God. It started off with him with that roughing the passer. Jalen Reagor, that muffled punt. Jonathan Gannon, the usual. I still don't understand why people want him as a head coach. Take him,
and
please.
Mitch, to answer your question, we ran the ball 17 times overall.
And most of that was in the first half.
9 came from the running backs. 8 of them were by Jalen Hurts.
I mean, why would you run it? You weren't even going to do shit with the run game. They were stopping.
Well, that's better than the throwing game.
You weren't going to do shit.
It was bad all around. It was bad all around.
Mitch,
Jalen Hurts, man.
Let me explain.
Hold on.
BPS, go ahead. Go ahead, BPS.
This is what I was going to say. First of all, when you want to run the ball, right, against a team like Tampa Bay, all you're going to do is push yourself back 10 yards every time you run the ball. You can't run it and just keep doing it. So Nick Sirianni, all he had to do was throw it because that's the only thing he had. Like, you could keep running it, but that wasn't going to work because all they were going to do was blitz. They were going to stop you either way. You can't run the ball like that against a team that is that good on defense, stopping the run.
Well, I'll say this. Sirianni didn't stick with the run enough. because there were times where it was sometimes effective. You get good yardage. But the thing is, you got to stick with it. You can't just abandon the run and then automatically think that you're going to pass your way into a
can't.
victory. It's not going to work out that way.
It won't
They had
work.
to stick with it. Whether if it worked, whatever the point is to keep the defense honest and to get them tired. I don't know if Sirianni this is something that happened at the beginning of the season. Now today you see a lot of Sirianni reverting back to what he did at the beginning of the season. Everything today was week 2. Everything that happened in week 2, week 3, week 1. These are the things that happened. Once the running game was stopped a little bit or they were held in check, Sirianni abandoned it. But Jalen, let me get to you. What are your thoughts on today's game?
I can't wait.
Todd Bowles dictated the whole game. You know, he forced Hurts to. The whole game plan was, hey, we're going to give you wide open stuff. I'm just going to make sure I know where you're going to throw it. That's it. So that little nickel and diamond, 2 and 3 yards here and there. I mean, it against Washington, it goes for 17. Against them, it went for 2. All right, now you have to sit in the pocket and throw. We saw what happened. That Todd Bowles showed you what a real defensive coordinator should be able to do / head coach. That's really was the game, Hurts didn't look good at all. Still on this bandwagon of Miles Sanders is not special. We do not need him. Replace him. We need special. I'm all about getting special talent. Not, he's really good. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? Send Miles Sanders to San Francisco. They can use him. They love him having him over there. I'd rather have somebody who's game breaking versus, the guy who breaks a long run here and there, but consistently he can't give you 4 yards in the cloud of dust every time he touches the ball. Yep. You know what I'm saying? One bright spot, I did like what I was seeing from Smith when he got the ball, and also his demeanor throughout the whole game. You know what I'm saying? This is, off the cuff. This is wild, but I really did like it because he showed he had some dog in him the whole way through, even though he's a soft-spoken person. You know what I mean?
I think when Smith gets on that field, he's a totally different person. In real life, when you're out there conversating, he's probably a soft-spoken person. But on the field, that's a different animal. As for this game, though, listen, again, I've said it from the onset for how many weeks? We can't start off slow. That was something that could not happen because, again, when you're in the playoffs, that's a different game. You can't always be playing catch-up. It's not going to work out. It's not the regular season. I understand there was a lot of time left on that clock, but again, there were some points that you had to make up, which means you had to stop them from scoring also. And that was the issue. They could not do that. We had Leonard Fournette was out for the game. What was that?
You know what this looked familiar to? Remember when Lamar couldn't throw the Ravens out of a hole?
Yeah.
It looks just like that, didn't it?
Yep. It really did. When we seen Jalen, today, I think the theme of today was a massive regression from all aspects. I mean, even special teams, we seen it. Jalen Reagor dropping that ball. There were so many mistakes that were done. It was a regression all around. Even the line. We saw Mayaladov, our trusty left tackle, leave a man free. That was his responsibility. He left that end free and came at Jalen. It was a total calamity all around. Everyone gets blamed. Equal blame shared all around.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for that special teams point, I understand Jalen Reagor is going to take a lot of heat for this. Our not gunners. The guys who block the gunners on the other side?
Yeah.
Did a piss poor job all game. Never touched people. Epps, 33, and some other one. They did piss poor the whole game. Yep. So understand, though, it was a whole special teams failure, not just punt return failure. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. I agree with you on that. But if you're Jalen Reagor, what the fuck are you doing trying to catch the ball anyway? If you're going to stand there, at least make it a fair catch. Why are you even touching the ball?
Exactly. Thank you, Big Boy Swag.
You stand there. If your first assignment to do if you're going for a fair catch is just to wave in front of the air and tell them that you're making it a fair catch. Well, what are you doing touching the ball if you see 10 people running at you?
Thank you, Big Boy Swag.
I don't understand that. And yes, the Gunners, the people blocking for them, they did terrible. But I'm sorry,
Exactly.
man. Rager is horrible. Like he is the next level horrible. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Vic, I
don't
definitely
see
Him
no
and
hope.
Nelly not in the same bucket, man.
I
Give me
don't.
Nelly all day.
I think Mitch said it best though, off screen. When it's just like he's not mad. We're not all mad. We're just very disappointed with this team. There was a lot of promise with this team, and they failed to meet the expectations on every level. We had some hope. We didn't think that we're going to the Super Bowl. That wasn't something that we had, but we thought we could win this game. But from the onset, from the time the game started, you knew it was something. It was going downhill. The defense wasn't up. The offense wasn't playing right. Again, like we talked about, special teams wasn't there. The coaching, they didn't do their part. That's what I'm saying. Like you can spread blame all around, but let's just focus on the number one guy right now. Because earlier in the day there was a report. There was talks about what happened last night with the Eagles and how there was a meeting and Jalen Hurts was given the floor. He was allowed to speak in front of the team, and they were very, it was a very good speech from what we were told. But then when you look at today's game, whatever was said last night must have fell on deaf ears, because this was not the same team that won 7 of the last 10. This was not the same team that was second in the league and that became first in the league in rushing. This was not the same team whatsoever. So let me go around the horn and let me ask you guys. I'll start off with you, Jalen. What did you think of Jalen Hurts' performance today?
It was poor. It was poor. He didn't step up. He didn't do what he needed to do. You get what I'm saying? At times he looked like he couldn't do the basics. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I also got to give credit to the other side of the ball. You get what I'm saying? Because let's be real, yo. All the other 7 games, those guys are JV. A lot of those teams were JV level teams. Now you're in the real, now you're in the big boy league.
I agree.
That game showed you where you stand on the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. We was picking on chumps, 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, people like that.
Trevor Siemian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Caleb
Come on,
Heineke, Mike Glennon.
Heineke.
We're facing
Male drivers.
Heineke is like your regular quarterback.
like in all of our regular season games. Here are the quarterbacks that we beat. We beat Matt Ryan. We beat Sam Darnold. We didn't beat the Buccaneers the first time. We didn't beat the Raiders, the Chargers.
Okay, the point is we faced terrible quarterbacks and we beat them.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
We only played against one winning quarterback in Matt Ryan. That was it.
Mhm.
One established quarterback that we beat was Matt Ryan. That was the beginning of the season.
Exactly.
We see how bad that team
they
was.
hadn't figured out their situation yet either. So how much do you really want to put stock into that one game? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, what up, Coach Dante?
It was good, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. I put the link up there in the chat if anyone wants to come through. But BPS, let me get your thoughts. What did you think of Jalen Hurts' performance today?
He sucked. Okay. I don't
Still better than Daniel Jones.
look good at all. That's like he just didn't look good at all in terms of going through his progressions, reading the defense. When he tried to get outside the pocket, they were there. He just couldn't do anything, like nothing. I felt like he was trying to play hero ball too much. That's what happens when you try to play hero ball, because you're down by so much damn points. You have to play hero ball.
Can I ask y'all a question? Once you finish BPS?
What?
No, he was saying
After
once
you
you're finished,
finish, I got a question for you.
All right. But yeah, Hurts, he didn't go through his progressions. He just did not look good at all today. So personally, I feel like you have to give him another chance, but honestly, he does not look like the guy, and that's just me being real. He's progressed, but he does not look like what a quarterback is supposed to do in a situation. And today, he just looked demoralized. He looked defeated, and he just didn't look good today.
Yeah, heads were hung low today. Mitch, let me get your thoughts. What did you think of Jalen Hurts today?
Hold on 1 sec. I was getting my camera ready for the video. I try to stick up for this guy all year. You guys heard me 50-50. I wasn't against him. I wasn't a fan of him. Right in the middle. This game, I'm still trying to find the middle. But as of right now, after this game, when you step up to the plate, you struck out. You struck out. You hit a foul ball here and there. Just terrible. Cannot find the open man. You didn't. How many times did Devontae Smith was targeted? How many times? 3? 4?
I was
Goddard was
expecting like 6.
MVP.
Let me
Goddard
look.
was the best player on the offense side.
Exactly. Goddard was the best player catching the ball today.
And I made a hype video a couple days ago. And I was like, we can't beat the people are saying that we can't beat the big teams. People are saying that we're sucking. We can't do it. Well, you proved the haters right. This whole team proved the freaking haters right.
Exactly. And to answer your question on how many catches Devontae Smith had out of how many targets, he had 4 receptions out of 11 targets.
Oh, 11 targets.
11? I thought it was less.
No, it was 11. I just looked it
I
up.
thought it was less. Wow.
He started getting targeted more in the second half.
Yeah, and
what it was Hurts was overthrowing them, was underthrowing and overthrowing them, and sometimes Smith wasn't even in the picture. That's why the targets went that way.
I think for Jalen, as composer, we've seen him all year. As much of a leader as he presents himself, I think today it caught up with him. The game may have been too big for him today. Again, like I said, we all heard about the speech. We all heard how he rallied the guys up. But again, when it came time to play, that wasn't the same Jalen we seen 2-3 weeks ago. That's the same Jalen we seen in week 3, in week 4. That's the same guy we saw today. Like I said, there was a massive regression. Throwing the ball way too high, throwing it low. He was off target.
Inaccuracy.
In the pocket, he was. I'll give him this. He was comfortable in the pocket. He avoided trouble. There were some times where he made moves where he should have stayed, but for the most part, he was okay. But it was just him throwing. His accuracy today was off.
And everybody can admit that his decision making was not really that great today.
Yeah, and they were and you gotta blame the receiver too, because there were some balls that were thrown at the receivers where they didn't take the right angles.
They should have been caught. Thank you.
There was one by Watkins where he didn't take a right angle on that ball, and it kind of looked like Jalen threw it behind him, but that wasn't the case. That was Watkins who didn't keep an eye on that ball. There was little mistakes like that being made also.
No. But, hey Vic, let me push back on that.
Go ahead.
He threw the ball late. When you talk about the end with Watkins, and it looked like it was behind him. Hurts threw that ball late, and he threw it.
It would have been money if Watkins would have just gave it the right angle.
But that's the thing. That's not on Watkins, because guess what? His timing, Hurts has to throw that right now. He threw it where he was supposed to be, but the thing is, Hurts was late, so that's why he had to reach back forward. That's on Hurts, not Watkins.
For me, I seen it as Watkins may have overran it a little bit. He could have slowed down that route, especially like you said. Hey, Jalen did throw that off, but again, he could have slowed down his running. He would have been perfect with it. Watkins, I understand it was for me. If anything, it looked like it was thrown not late. It was thrown a little too early for Watkins. He just, like I said, he just came on it wrong. The defender was behind him. There was no reason. There was no way that defender would have gotten on the ball. He could have slowed up the route.
The reason why Watkins can't slow that route down is because if he slows it down, that defender that's on his butt catches up, and he can slip in front of the route for a pick.
Yeah,
for pick 6 at that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you couldn't do it. That's why you have to keep going. So Hurts has to leave him instead of Watkins slowing down. That's why Hurts has to leave him instead of him, waiting or slowing down.
They were getting pressure. He was trying to get that ball out, but like I said, I think blame could be spread. It was a little bit off of that angle he came at. Like you just say, there was a defender behind him, but I feel like he could have slowed it up enough, because if you look at it, if Watkins didn't reach around, that could have possibly been an interception right there, right for the defender.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hurts threw it where the play was supposed to do. If the play was perfect, Hurts put it in the perfect spot. The problem is Hurts was a tick late, and Watkins overthrew it. And if Watkins slows down, like I said, that defender slips into an interception zone. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And understand it's all murky. I definitely get what you're coming from, though, Vic.
That's how you look at it,
Vic,
Jalen, and you know what? I
update
can
on the
respect
score.
it.
Update on the score in the Cowboys
And-
game. Niners
What'd you
already
say?
scored. The Niners already scored. That's 7-0.
Let's go Niners. Let's go
One
Niners.
tiny closer to a ring. Let's go.
Yeah, but you know what actually pisses me off other than the game? I said this before. Nick Sirianni did not even shake Bruce Arians' hand. That's what pisses me
That's
off.
that's a little disrespectful. I
That's
think.
what
That's-
pisses me off the most.
Here, let
And
me
I'm
say
sorry.
one
Hold
thing.
on, BOC, hold on.
All right, I'll let go ahead, man.
In
Go
the
ahead.
group chat, when Gary said that, sorry, I'm calling out another content creator. I don't care. When you
What-
say
what's going
that
on?
you would not do the same thing, that proves you're not a big man. And you were saying how you were not watching the rest of the game. I can't stand people like that, bro.
Bro, you got put it this way. You got your ass kicked, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
all you can say.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at
Shake
least
the man's
have
hand.
the
Admit.
balls to shake it the guy's
No.
hand.
I'm with you on that. What I'm saying, you got your ass kicked. Guess what? At least you can do is shake that man's hand and say, "Hey, you a better man today." But tomorrow, I'm
Man,
gonna come
thank
after your
you.
ass again.
And
That's
I
exactly
just
what you
want
have
to say
to.
this
That's the
one
attitude
thing.
you
I
have
want
to
to
have.
say this one thing. Sirianni, the best thing to do at the end of the day is to go out there and show some goddamn good sportsmanship to someone else. I know. This is what happened in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady did not shake Nick Foles' hand in the Super Bowl when the
Still
Eagles won the
hasn't.
Super Bowl. This is the next version of someone not shaking someone else's hand. Sirianni being a douche like that and not shaking Bruce Arians' hand in the end. What was that?
No, but
And I want to tell
personally-
you all something else before y'all continue, just because I really need to.
Personally, though-
Because our running game couldn't really get going. Guess how many times Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball today?
Like 34, 35 times or something
34.
like that.
No,
32, 34.
43.
Damn, that's even more than what we thought.
Personally,
43 times Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball today because
You know
of our
what I
running
would
attack
do,
not
And
getting
he
You
only
know-
had, but what, like 19 completions, right?
Let me.
hang on, I didn't get a good look at that, Vic. Just give me a second. He only had 23 of those completed.
So here's let me ask y'all. This is going to lead into my question I was asking earlier. So y'all do realize season 3 of a 4-year contract is right here.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about Hurts as a quarterback. We've seen what the floor is. We've all seen the floor, but how high is the ceiling? Like some what we've seen. So against bad teams, yes, we've seen the ceiling or the flashes of the ceiling. But against these good teams that know what the hell they're doing on the defense, where's the ceiling for real?
he's a better. Okay, personally, right now, and I'm just being honest. I'm being real here. Jalen Hurts right now, he's a better Tyrod Taylor.
Like I said earlier,
He is a better Tyrod Taylor.
I'll say
I'll
this.
say-
Let me just say this real fast. What did Josh Allen, and I use Josh Allen a lot, but let me ask you, what did Josh Allen look after year 2?
Josh Allen
Yeah.
showed major improvement after year 2.
But not from year 1 to year 2, because in year 2, Josh Allen was still averaging about 56 yards a game. In year 2, there was a
You talking about
progression. He got, for Josh Allen, he had a little progression, but that second year wasn't as huge as, because we all know he had a pretty bad first year. Second year
Yeah, I
wasn't that much better, but it was year 3, year 4. That's where Josh Allen got to the, who he is today. I understand what you're saying, but do you think? Let me just compose that. I answer your question.
Do what you mind.
Do you think that Jalen right now is in a better position as a quarterback like that? We can even bring up Lamar Jackson. Any other quarterback in his year 2. Would you say that's disappointing compared to all those other quarterbacks?
Here's the difference. Would you say Jalen Hurts has the talent of those two?
As Josh Allen, yes, because when Josh Allen came in, I literally thought he was probably going to get done with that first season. There was honestly, when you look at it, Buffalo put a lot into that kid because there was no real reason for him to start the next season. You had promise, you could have sit him down, got someone and see what he knows, but they stuck with it. That second season wasn't great either. It was in the third season last year where Allen just blew up.
I agree, but here's what I'm getting at. Josh Allen talent coming into the NFL, crazy. The issue was they didn't know if they could refine him. You get what I'm saying?
I remember
Lamar
that, but I also
Jackson.
remember a lot of people didn't know why he was even in the conversation, the top 5 quarterback. Because remember,
his
he was
talent.
only a project because of what happened with Carson Wentz.
Yep.
He was that project. He was they can do it with Carson Wentz. Let's see if we can do it with him. And he surpassed Wentz. Let's be honest. But that was the only reason why Josh Allen got that look, because of his size, the fact that he had a strong arm. But no one really thought that, coming out the draft, you can start the kid.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. Then now let's move it over to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, we'd never seen anybody at the quarterback position who could run like that. People say Vick was a straight line runner. Lamar Jackson was making dudes shake out their cleats, tear ACLs. My season. If you miss this man, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick update on the game. The Cowboys just went 3 and out, and the Niners are still up 7-0.
Oh, come on, 49ers. Make this day better for all of us. Help us, help you, help us.
I look like an idiot right now for picking the Cowboys.
BPS, you've made so many moves this year that would make you look even a bigger idiot. So don't worry about it. You're fine with this move.
Hey,
you know what?
I test. He
and you know what? In our game,
oh my God.
And you know what? In our game, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I am one of, if not the only Eagles content creator to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game. Because I know there were so many people.
I think BPS. I picked them. I remember that because I had an argument with them.
BLSG, be real here. In everyone's heart of hearts, I don't care if you're a Bucs fan, if you're an Eagles fan. Wait, hold on. If you're an Eagles fan, if you're an NFL fan, if you're a Bucs fan, you knew we weren't gonna beat the Buccaneers.
But why did so many people think we were going to beat the Buccaneers in the first place, Sly?
BLSG, they had hope. That doesn't mean we're going to beat them. They have hope. That doesn't mean we're going to win.
Yeah,
a lot of people have hope. That doesn't matter.
Another thing I noticed.
There's another thing
Go ahead, saying that they thought that the Eagles were going to beat the Buccaneers today.
Everyone said the Eagles were going to beat the Buccaneers. A lot of people say it. ESPN was riding hard with us this whole week. Pete Schrager riding hard with us the whole time. 2 weeks ago, he said Eagles would, make some noise in the playoffs. But Jalen, you had something to say. Let me get to you.
So did it trouble y'all that Fletch was not in the game at key moments?
Oh, if I'm going to answer this question, everyone knows I knew Fletch checked out almost 3 seasons ago. I've been demanding that he needs to get traded. The one person I will say that I am frustrated with on the defense was Hargraves. 12th man on the field, and then still came out offsides. What the hell was that about? You're a vet. You should have known better, especially in that position. That got me upset because that told me the whole line was off. It wasn't just Fletch and his inconsistency, him just being lazy, because that's what I consider it. Fletch being lazy. He got paid. He got his. And, you know what I mean? He doesn't care anymore. But for everyone else on the team to have those slip-ups, yeah, it was maddening. And there was a Ryan Kerrigan sighting. You know things are bad if Ryan Kerrigan does good.
Yep. But here's the thing. That 12 man on the field, that's a defensive coordinator issue. So that's on Gannon. You get what I'm saying? I gotta put that on Gannon. But the problem is Fletch is getting paid $20 million. You're still tied up in that contract. You know, you can void it, but you got hella dead money on that contract. Understand, Fletch is not there on key moments. He's being pulled. Your young defensive linemen, yes, they look like they can be in the NFL, but none of them look special. You get what I'm saying? I like what I've seen out of Milton Williams. He's had growth this year. But the thing is, I think it's more of him getting his feet wet versus him being coached better. So I'm a little scared for this whole entire D line going forward.
I see on the opposite. Again, like I said, we see what we have in Hargraves. There's some promise there. We see something in Williams, and I understand it wasn't enough. It wasn't a big enough sample size for us just to make a definite decision. But I think that, he has a high ceiling too. And going into this draft and possibly free agency, we all know that there's a move that can be made. But for me, my thing is, I feel that we do have to get rid of Cox. I understand he's a big hindrance on that cap. They got to figure out a way to get him out of here.
Yo,
For
That's
me,
why I
he's
was
been
saying.
wasting space for the past 3 years.
Michael Parsons,
That's why I
I
was
think,
saying.
just got injured. Michael Parsons just got injured, I think. He
Hey,
was
I'm
one.
not going to root for that. I'm not going to be
Yeah,
happy for that.
Yeah.
T's and P's
Mhm.
He
to
went to the
Parsons. You know what I
Hope that
mean?
sideline.
get right.
Yeah,
But
I don't like
Vic,
injuries for no
Vic,
player, no matter
you're
if they're
not going to
Cowboys fan or not.
support Vic. You're not going to support your former Penn State Nittany line right there, Michael Parsons.
That's why I was like, I don't wish injuries on no one. Like T's and P's to Michael Parsons. We are. You know what I'm saying? We are forever.
We are. Nah,
Yeah, man.
But they still
But
have
let me bring this up because we talked about Jalen and his inconsistency today. But another person that I want to bring up is someone who's supposed to be another
Which
guy we're supposed to depend on. Hurts. We don't depend anything on Jalen Reagor. We can't depend on him at all. But we do. we do depend on Miles Sanders, and he did not come to play today. Let me get your thoughts real fast because I know you got a lot of things to do, Mitch. What did you think about Sanders' performance today?
I don't even remember ever seeing him on the field. I'm being completely honest. He was irrelevant in that game. Jimmy Boston shots, touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell's touchdown. They were the best highlights. Where was Jordan Howard?
That's a
Jordan
great
Howard,
question.
Mitch. I'm going to tell you one thing. Jordan Howard did not come into this game one time.
No, he came in like the second half, I think, wasn't it?
No,
I think it was the second half. I swore I seen him in the second half.
The only rushers that rushed today for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts with 8 rushes for 39 yards, Boston Scott 1 carry for 34 yards, Miles Sanders 7 carries for 16 yards, and Kenneth Gainwell 1 carry for 6 yards. There is no sign of Jordan Howard on here.
He didn't rush. He caught the ball, though.
But I swore I know I seen him in there. But that was one of the questions I had, especially early on. Why wasn't Howard in? Again, we needed physicality.
Yeah, he wasn't there for receptions, though.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Bucks defense, we all know they bring in physicality. They handle run game for a reason because those big guys up front. Let's get physical with them. Let's tire them down. That wasn't even the game plan. Again, I think there was such a big reversion right back to the beginning of the season, all around. But BPS, let me get your thoughts on Miles Sanders today.
As Mitch said, I didn't see him today at all. I mean, personally, I think Miles Sanders is a solid back. I don't think he's just the greatest back. He's not the worst back. But today, he did not look good at all. I was really pissed off with him today. There was times where I was like, why isn't Howard in the game? Because Sanders was trying to do too much in terms of causing that big explosive play, which wasn't there at all. And the only time it was there is late in the game. So you just ask yourself, why is he always trying to look for that big play when as a running back, you're supposed to look for the hole, not the big play all the time. So I personally didn't like his performance today.
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. Jalen, what did you think of Miles Sanders' performance today?
That's who he is. I mean, like I said, he's not a game person. He's nothing special. He's a solid back. He's not going to do more than what's there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's a product of the system. He's an NFL player. He's a good NFL player. I'm not going to disrespect the man like that. But let's be real. Is he Dalvin Cook? And I'm not even exactly. So is he even how many classes? Matter of fact, is he Joe Mixon?
I was going to say he's probably Miles is looking, second to third tier running back.
I'll put it this way.
Exactly. But
hey, Jalen, I'll put it this way. He's in that Joe Mixon, David Montgomery tier.
Joe Mixon is way higher than both of those guys. David Montgomery,
Mixon,
I'm okay with
Mixon is better than those guys, but he's in that David Montgomery, anywhere in that range where David Montgomery
is top of that third tier.
No, not Mixon, Sanders.
No, Miles Sanders is the top of that third tier. You got to understand what I'm saying. He can have a good game. He can do some special things. He has a skill set. He can be a starting running back. But can he be your bell cow? No. Is he going to make something out of nothing? No.
He's not reliable.
Exactly. Everybody wants to harp on 2 years ago when he had the most 50-yard runs, but context around those runs. One of them, well, the one in the Saints game, their defense did something crazy and allowed him to get 50 yards. He scored that touchdown. Then you talking about the one against Pittsburgh. The one in Pittsburgh was the same thing. It was a blown running assignment. That's what happened. And the situation was they weren't used to us running. Oh crap! The running guy has the ball. What's going on? He's fast enough to get out there and outrace somebody in a foot race. But the thing is, that's what caused him to go 50 yards versus him being just that guy that rips him.
Yeah, it was situational play calling that got him those yards. Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that at all.
That's why I said he's a piece. Send him to San Francisco.
But San Fran, for their credit, they got Elijah Mitchell. They don't need much, and their running game is weird because they can run with Debo. They can run with Ayuk. What was that?
Do you think Elijah Mitchell is special?
I think he is. I'll say this though: that injury.
Do you think James Robinson is special?
Who?
James Robinson.
Which James Robinson are we talking about here?
We talking about the one in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Special?
Before the injuries, yeah. I would say especially when you look at Jacksonville, what he did.
So we're giving the special tag to a lot of guys now. I only see about
Jalen,
5 to 7 guys special.
First of all, you have to understand that James Robinson, well, I wouldn't say he's special, but for someone in that situation,
with that Jacksonville,
someone in that situation,
line,
as Vic said,
I would say special.
Yeah, I would say he's pretty solid.
But those guys that you just mentioned, the issue is they're experiencing injuries now. That's the problem now. How are they going to be going forward? They were, like I said beforehand, but even with Mitchell, he as a rookie, I think he had a pretty good season. Yep. Hopefully, his injuries don't keep on coming up and he can expand on that. But I think he played pretty well. I don't think San Francisco would be the ideal fit for Miles. There are other teams.
The fact that we're mentioning Miles Sanders and Elijah Mitchell in the same conversation should show you that he's not the guy that we think he is.
Oh yeah. Listen, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with that. Yeah. Because right now, the way Miles is looking like, he's just looking like a change of pace back. That's literally what he looks like right now. A change of pace back who started.
And that's what I said. You can fit him, you can plug and play him in San Francisco, and he's a cog in their machine. Let's go through the running backs down the list. Mostert. What was it? It was like 2 other ones. Telvin Coleman.
He's in that Mostert range right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Like, he's not special. I'm talking about special. I'm talking about Dalvin Cook is special.
Joe Mixon Saquon's second year before injuries. Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you talking about like the running back that like go off?
Yes, but here's the thing.
Just like Najee Harris, even look at him. He carried that team.
Najee Harris, Derrick Henry before he got hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but Derrick Henry's in his own class. No one is coming up there.
I'm gonna say Jonathan Taylor's in that class right now. Jonathan Taylor has put himself in that class.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that.
That Bills game.
Jonathan Taylor is a solid number 2. He is not in the class of Derrick Henry.
Oh, with all those injuries, is Henry going to be the same Henry?
I don't know that yet. But the reason why I say that, you got to
put Taylor in that position too, because we don't know what we're going to get out of Henry right now.
So here's the thing: what Henry was before the injury and what Jonathan Taylor is today, there's a stark difference between the two.
I'll say it this way: when fantasy comes back up, you got that first pick. You taking Taylor? You taking Henry?
Jonathan Taylor. But fantasy had the fantasy. I know. Going first. So the thing about that, that's another back that's out there, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, but see that I'm leery on Christian McCaffrey too because of the injuries. I think he's a special back if healthy, but he's constantly injured. But that also could be because of how Carolina uses him. They act like he can't move.
But here's my thing. Miles Sanders is not even in those classes. He's not that conversation. He's nowhere close. That's what I'm getting at. He is who he is. He's solid. He's good. He knows what he can do as a player. His mentality is messed up because he's trying to points in time this year. He was trying to go for a contract and yards and personal gain. But understand, Miles Sanders is who Miles Sanders is. He is nothing special.
Yeah.
He's an NFL player. He's an NFL running back. He is nothing special.
Yeah, that leads me to the next question. But let me get your thoughts, BPS. What did you think of Miles today?
I already said much.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pointing out the BLSG too. I'm looking right at him. I'm like BPS. What did you think, my guy?
Close enough to start with a B.
Right, I was about to say the same thing. But what did you think,
right.
my guy? What did you think of Miles?
Well, here's the thing. In terms of what Miles did today, he had 7 carries for 16 yards. The running attack was really not a big factor today. But look at it this way. Miles Sanders, he cannot provide you with everything. He can't lead your team to do everything. That's why we need that star running back to give you so many carries. That's why we needed you to give him 15 carries, 20 carries. We need them to give you double-digit carries. I understand Miles Sanders is supposed to be RB1, but he cannot provide you everything. He had 7 carries for 16 yards. That is less than what he's had in the last few games when we have been winning, which we've been winning against teams that are under 500. So in this case, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this was just a completely different story for Miles, and this was just about the challenge for him.
Yeah, listen, we saw today how he struggled, so it was a definite challenge. But let me just take a quick second to talk to the Cowboys fans. I told you from the beginning of the season, when we christened off this 27th year of you not winning a goddamn thing, I was going to pop off a bottle. I got my bottle ready. We're looking at, what was it? 10-0 Niners?
Yeah, 10-0.
Oh,
hey, wait.
listen.
Vic, you keep talking. I'll be right back. Hang on one second.
All right. Listen, boys for life. If you want some, you can get some of this. What was it? Goodwin, Matthew Goodwin? If you want some, you can get some of this too. Just remember, I'm gonna be here live. Y'all can come through. I'm gonna pop off 27 years.
They just had a big play. They just had a big play though.
But let me ask a question. So we talked about Miles and his inconsistency. Going into the draft, is it a definite
I was about to bring
first
this up.
round, second round? Are we looking for a running back? Are we replacing Miles? Are we keeping him?
I'm not drafting a running back.
Can I say something?
It does not.
Go ahead.
You're not supposed to draft a running back in the first or second round.
So
we don't need it.
So here's what I'm getting at. Yes, we made the playoffs. Yes, we beat a bunch of bad teams. But now let's go through the positions we need. We're going to need a center. We're going to need a right guard. We're going to need defensive ends. We're going to need cornerbacks. We're going to need linebackers.
Safety.
We're also going to need other wide receivers and safety. Thank you. That's 7 positions of need.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to get all of that in one draft, even with 3 first-round picks?
Well,
I don't think so. I think
technically, yes, you can. Now, you can get those picks. You can get people to fill those spots. Yes, that can be done. Now, will they be good enough to be – are they the guys you're looking for to be starters, to carry this team? That remains to be seen, but I will say this.
Trades.
With the fact that we have 3 first-round picks, that does help us a lot. That helps us out tremendously. Now, when you think of the second and third, those are 5 spots right there that can possibly be taken care of. And you're only looking for 2 more positions.
So wide receiver was supposed to be solved 2 years ago, remember?
Yeah, but I would say this about the wide receiver position. I think it's gotten a lot better, especially with the emergence of Smith. You got Watkins. We already know Rager's not in our plans. He's not in the plans for the future. That's where you may want to go out and get an experienced veteran. That's where you may want to go into the free agency.
And let's skip Bob's name, 84. Greg Ward Jr.
Oh, Greg Ward. I don't know, but Greg Ward, I feel like he'll end up staying around. The guy he's like a road.
He's a great filling player.
Jalen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know what we're missing in terms of receiver? A big body wide receiver. Someone we could just.
Well, we have big body wide receivers. They just can't do anything. J-Jaw is a big body wide receiver.
I don't think it's the big body wide receiver is the right answer.
We don't have any of that.
Now we need someone who is consistent that can play the number 1 position. That's what we need. Their body type doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're 5'10" and speedy. It doesn't matter if they're 6'2".
Adams and
You can't just
I'll say this. If we had Deshaun Jackson, I'm talking about young Deshaun Jackson, fresh out of college, That would be our number one. Because why? Because he could stretch the field. He can create more things. So
Forget
it doesn't have to be the big body receiver. It doesn't have to be that.
Bro. Can we
drop
give him?
Jamar.
Can we at least get
Drop.
red zone with them?
Hold up. Justin Jeffries, Jamar Chase. Who are we talking about? Those not big body wide receivers. They number ones, definitely. Look who's across from them. Yeah, T. Higgins is on the other side, but my thing is T. Higgins is a complementary piece. You have to find that game-breaking number one. You get what I'm saying? I love Devontae Smith. I love who he is as a player. I love who he is as a person. And today made me like him better. You get what I'm saying? Forget the numbers, forget the stats. His fight made me like him more today. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not going to fool myself and say he's going to be a number one wide, not number one. He's going to be an elite number one wide receiver. No, he's going to be a middle of the pack number one wide receiver, a perfect, great, excellent, special number two. You have to find a number one game-breaking wide receiver. Every time he touches the ball, that's a threat for 6. That's what you need. Forget the body type. I need that. Jamar Chase takes a slant, 76 yards, 83 yards. That's what you need. Justin Jeffries jukes a man out of his shoes and goes for 65.
Okay, Jalen. Let me ask
But
you.
I'll say this: look at Seattle. What did their big body receiver do for them this year?
Really nothing. But
Exactly. So it's not the body type. Again, it's the production they give you out of that position. If we have a number one, a clear-cut one, I have no problems moving over Smith to number 2 spot. Just like Jalen said, he can be a spectacular number 2, a spectacular complementary receiver. But we need that guy that can take the top off, that can catch that ball, that can sure-handedly catch that ball. We can trust. That's what we need. Because if we have that, everything falls into place behind him.
But Jalen, let me ask you this question. What
and also, real quick.
Hold on.
Yeah,
What game
just go ahead.
you see in the draft or through free agency?
I have not seen any. So you're asking me, do I see any in the draft? I'm not looking at any in the college players.
You see any through free agency?
Well, we all know there is one in free agency because you got Devontae Adams coming out this year. So there is.
We're not
going to
getting
franchise tag.
Well, it remains to be seen. Yeah, but there's still that possibility.
No,
and there is another number one out there that a lot of people haven't talked about. A lot of people are skeptical about him to begin with. You got Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas is out there.
He could be a little rusty though because of the injury that made him go out for the year.
But he hasn't. He's been saved for 2 seasons now. He hasn't had that wear and tear put on him.
Exactly.
Will he be the same player? I don't know.
So here's the thing. I think Big Play Slay is getting at scheme. The debate you're getting at is scheme fits and having the flexibility to do different things within your offensive scheme versus the players themselves. Yes, we can get a big body wide receiver. Yes, it opens up the field of what we can do as a personnel with the team. But what I'm getting at is I'd rather have a player who makes things happen than a guy who just fits in the scheme and it gives us added versatility.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And for all the Cowboys fans out there, and especially all the Cowboys content creators, I don't have the bottle like Vic, but I got the big boy bottle. And you know what? If y'all lose, and if Vic decides to do that live stream where he just rants and goes up, I'm gonna be on that. And you know what? I'm drinking that mad water, boy.
I'm putting it out there right now. If the Cowboys are down by a significant amount, once that 2-minute warning hits, your boy's back on. We getting it ready. I've never opened up one of these before, so I might make a mess. I might hurt myself. We don't know. We're about to find out today if the Cowboys are down by the 2-minute warning, though. That's how I'm going to roll with this. I told you, I'm going to celebrate this 27th year. So
if they're blown out by the 2-minute warning, though, Vic. If they're blown out by the 2-minute warning, though, that's when we get on here, and that's where we ran it up about the Cowboys.
And like I said, Matthew Goodman, you are more than welcome to come through. Just put in the chat, put down your information. Boys for Life, the invitation is open for you as well. Listen, I'm trying to celebrate with y'all. Come on now. But coming off of that topic, we already discussed, it looks like we're ready in the process of drafting a running back for this draft. We all know Miles can't be the number one. He can't be the feature back. But let me ask you a question. What are you most worried about going into the next season? What position do you feel that should have the most attention going into it? BPS, I'll start off with you.
Definitely defensive line. 100% defensive line. First of all, 4 of our sacks came from them losing Tristan Wirfs. Ryan Jensen was in and out today. And they were, rebutted with injuries on that offensive line. So that's where the 4 sacks came from. So I would look at a defensive line, just look at that position in general, that group in general, fill that out. We need a defensive end. We need a 3-down defensive end badly. We need someone that could stop the run and the pass. And we need a game-breaking linebacker. We need someone that can stop the run and the pass as well.
Disagree with you on
that is the
linebacker.
back end.
I'd rather have a
I want to hear this
safety than a
rebuttal.
game-breaking linebacker.
What?
Go ahead.
I'd rather have a game-breaking safety than a game-breaking linebacker.
I wouldn't mind that either. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me.
I think it's because if we haven't had a linebacker for so long. It's just like, I would love to have one. But yeah, safety is a position of concern also. I've been harping on that one for a while. BPS, what do you think is the biggest position of concern going into next season?
You mean me again? Because you already went to BPS the first time.
Oh my God, I know. Listen,
you know what?
We're going to have to cut these names off with the B's, BLSG.
Just say my real name. It's okay.
That's what I'll do right now.
It's easier.
But BLSG, what do you think is the biggest position?
Confusing. Wait, it gets confusing because Big Boy Slay stole part of my letters because his initials of BPS are part of my actual real name.
Yeah.
So basically, BPS stole part of my personal info. Nice
Let me
going,
find out BPS is trolling.
You know,
You find out you're trolling. But what do you think the biggest position of need going forward into next season? What do you think it is?
Yeah, the biggest position I think we probably need going forward is probably either linebacker, defensive lineman. Not only because the defensive ends, Kerrigan, Barnett, they haven't looked that great, but also some guys are aging. Brandon Graham is aging. Fletcher Cox is aging. Javon Hargrave, after the start of the year, he's been getting stuffed over and over because other teams have saw what he has been doing in the first few weeks. And you know what? The coaches have probably been saying, hey, man, we got to cover this guy. We need to cover Javon Hargrave. We need to double cover him. We need to double team him. So mainly Javon Hargrave, he was probably one of, if not our best defensive linemen all year. So we probably just got to build it around that. And number one, get Derek Barnett out of here. Number two, get some younger guys on defense or some other guys that do have experience in the league that can replace Cox and Brandon Graham as decent backups or just guys going into the next generation and into the future going forward.
Yeah. Jalen, what do you think that is our biggest position of need going forward?
I don't think there's a biggest position of need. I think you just need talent. Let's be real. This team is not that talented. The spots that it's good in, there's talent there. But the rest of the roster, everybody else is fighting for, the third string spot or a second string spot in the rest of the league. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for the best talent available. I know it's very cliche of an answer, but let's be real. CB2 is a spot that we're going to need help at. But the thing is, Darius Slay is 30.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Do you really want to give him an extension? Then eventually us Eagles fans will be like, oh, he's stealing money. You want to get to that point, or you want to actually have a replacement plan in place and not wait too goddamn long? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Versus, also, let's look at safety. Can we get away with what we've been doing at safety? No. Safety has been an issue for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever brought up anything else. Hey, what other than Kayvon Wallace? What was the other safety we've drafted?
If we draft
What's his
him,
name? What's his name? Jacoby Stevens
Jacoby
was
C, but
supposed
I
to be
think we use him as a linebacker though.
linebacker. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's not a real safety. So, excuse me, sorry, I got to take it off mute.
I mean, I wouldn't say Slay's garbage, but he's okay. I'll put it this way: Slay is good. He's not elite.
I'd agree with that.
He's not elite. He's just
He's not Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, that. Thank you. He's not Ramsey's level. He's a good corner that can get the job done, but he's not the corner that you can say is
Zaire Alexander, the cat down in with the Saints, Marshawn Lattimore. There's a whole bunch of these new cats. Matter of fact, Denver, Patrick Surtain.
Oh, he's part Surtain, yeah.
No, Surtain. I wouldn't say Surtain. Surtain, he's alright.
I'm gonna have to leave Lattimore off this because this year it was a slump for him. He's been getting used a lot this year. Lattimore had that issue with DK Metcalf, and he couldn't even handle him.
Who?
Lattimore, for the most part this season, he's been all right, but he hasn't been the same Lattimore. He's been getting used sometimes.
I get it. So here's my thing. I think there are younger, better options than Slay out there. I get Slay is here. Slay is at 30 right now. Love Slay. Love what he does for the young development for these young guys. The issue I have is, are we going to hold on him for too long? And I'm not saying we replace him now. What I'm saying is you need to have a replacement plan in place. And that replacement plan in place can be on the opposite side of Slay. That's what I'm getting at.
I think Slay's going to end up being kind of like how we had with oh my god, I want to forget his name right now. Our left tackle. No, our left tackle.
JP?
Yeah, with JP. It's going to be because he'll be the best at that position, and we have no choice but to keep him. Because if we get rid of him, we just get lost our best corner.
Or he could be Malcolm Jenkins.
That's if he gets to another contract.
Huh?
If he gets to another contract.
Yeah. Which we know
he still has, 3 years left?
I think it's 1.
Oh, So
the other ones are dummy years. So he signed a 3-year extension. And it was a 2-year extension, so it gave him a total of 3 years on his deal. The rest of the years were tacked on his dummy years, but now you have to reshuffle the money to, hey, we're gonna restructure your deal. Yeah, restructure your deal, add your year on. Really, it's an extension of a year, blah 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 blah, guaranteeing that money. And now, hey, we're just going to keep it out, year to year. But we can't cut you now because guess what? I have $34 million tied in your dead money.
Yeah. It's going to be tough going forward. Howie has a lot of work to do, especially in this offseason.
Fletcher Cox and Lane Johnson.
Yeah. Well, like I said, me and my feeling on Fletcher. But let me ask, now that the season is officially over, what would you grade this season? The coaching staff as a whole and the players. What grade would you give them?
So how do you want this grading being done? Compared to the rest of the league or compared to our circumstance?
Well, for us in our circumstance.
B+.
That's not a bad grade.
The reason why I say B+, you handled business when you needed to handle business. You got a playoff spot. This is far ahead of schedule. There are issues, there are bugs. Guess what? A+ would have been showing me, oh, this coaching staff can coach. They're out coaching the other side of the field, even though they have lesser talent. That never happened the whole season. And also, there was no, oh my God, he's the best in the league player on this roster that broke out. So, everybody seemed like they were solid. They were very good. They can be high end. Sorry. Dickerson right now, out of your rookies, is probably the best. Controversial, I know. But
I'll
Dickerson is
say
probably the best.
Dickerson,
Yes.
not Smith. Dickerson.
Line up the wide receivers in front of Smith.
I can't say Dickerson's the best though. Like he's
All right,
improved. I give him that. He's improved greatly from his first game to now.
So what I mean is, if I had Dickerson and I had a chance, if I needed to replace a wide receiver, if I needed to replace a guy with a guy that's young, I'm choosing Dickerson in counting wise over I'm choosing Smith. I get what you mean by impact, but that's at the position. There's a legitimate argument that Dickerson is top 10 in his position. Can you make that with Smith?
Yeah, that's pretty big there. Top 10?
Right outside the top 10 to 12. There's an argument. I'm not saying he is, but there can be an argument. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, think about this. You have a top 16 guy, Isaac Seumalo, right? He's better than Isaac Seumalo.
Hey, I don't know how I feel. Yeah, I would say he is.
Yeah. So that's the logic I'm using for this. I am not saying if you gave these guys a rating that Smith wouldn't be higher. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But understand the abundance at wide receiver versus at offensive line. Comparatively speaking, Dickerson did better than Smith did. Think about it. 1,000 yards is the standard for a lot of guys, right?
Yeah.
Dickerson was about to get some Pro Bowl votes.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
I'm not saying he's a perfect product. He's that guy. And the same way with Mailata. Mailata is not a top 5 offensive lineman right now. A top left tackle. It's top 7, guaranteed. Top 8, just to be safe. Top 8, guaranteed. But he's not. Oh, yeah, he should be in the Pro Bowl. No. Is he not Pro Bowl? He should be an All-Pro. No. Pro Bowler? He has an argument, but I can name a lot more guys ahead of him. Because I see the weaknesses in Mailata's game.
Well, let me ask you this in reference to Dickerson. My feeling is if you feel he's as good as he is as a guard, why isn't he playing center? Because I feel that he can be better as a center than what he can be as a guard. And he can contribute more as a center than he would as a guard.
The issue is his foot speed. So what I'm saying is Dickerson's issue right now is getting there at the right time. You get what I'm saying? If he's a center, all right, so 2 things happen. You eliminate Dickerson's best attribute of him being a monster one-on-one and moving people one-on-one. You get what I'm saying? Because unless you're playing a 3-4 front and they line them up square in front of you, you're not having those matchups as much as you want. Center is more of a support role. That's why Kelsey has been so great at it. But when you line up bigger guys on him, he's been able to hold his own because all he's had to do is get a piece for long enough and let the play develop. And that guy's slow. So understanding that's why you wouldn't put him at center. And plus, when he's at center, he's going to have to step. And right now, he's a little late on his steps. And that's development. You get that with your feet. And I don't know if he's fully healed from his ACL. So that's why I wouldn't put him at center.
I don't know. I feel like it's not a wasted pick, but I think that it brings the value of that pick down even lower. Because again, that was supposed to be our center for the future. That's the guy who's supposed to be taking care of us. Now we're still looking for a center.
I'd agree with that, but here's the thing: you didn't expect Skip Bob to get beat out so bad. Say him out. Yeah, I had a coach who actually he'd forget your name if you was irrelevant. He'd call you Skip Bob, Skipper, Skip Buddy, whatever. Yeah. Hey, skip Bob.
You
Get in there.
just got called by your number.
But that's the thing. A lot of these guys, you might not even be here by week 2. That's
Yeah,
what
true.
that's what this stuff is like. But yeah, that's what I was getting at. Understand. The reason why I was so high on the Dickerson pick, Dickerson was a monster in college.
Mm-hmm.
You can line his film up against Quentin Nelson and be like, ooh, I think Dickerson did that block better than Nelson in college. But Nelson is still way better. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving people out the way, road grader, that is Dickerson. Dickerson also needs to improve in his pass protection.
Definitely.
And like I said, I think he's still injured a bit from that ACL. The reason why is because every time he goes to punch, that left leg slips on him, as opposed to being posted in the ground and not going anywhere on his punch. It slips. It's almost like he's switching legs, but it's not really switching legs. It's weird.
Do you feel that it could possibly be that, not that it's still injured, but it's not as strong?
I don't think it's an issue of strength. The reason why it's not an issue of strength, you couldn't dig in that leg if you're doing run support, left, right.
Yeah.
That takes more effort in that leg than more strength in that leg than kicking and punching.
Flying back, yeah.
The problem is you're gonna have to post off that leg and maintain hold off of it versus exploding off of it and bringing your body with it, because that's your propelling force at the end.
Yeah. But BPS, I would say BPS again. I would say right there.
Oh my God,
BPS.
Vic,
BLSG.
Vic, it's right here. Vic,
I
it's
know.
right here. Ignore this. It's right here.
I was wondering where the hell he's at too, but let me ask you a question. What grade would you give the Eagles this season? As a whole, coaching staff, players, what grade would you give them for this season?
Well, I'll start off with the coaching staff. Coaching staff, I'll give them around a C plus B minus. Only reason because is that they've had their ups and downs. When they've had their ups against like either really bad teams or teams that have a lot of injuries on each team. Now, the only reason why I put them as an up and down situation is just because, and when they're against good teams, they don't do that well. Take the Chiefs game, for instance. Take the Cowboys game, for instance. Our first matchup against the Cowboys. Take games like that, for instance. Those were games that were big-time slumps for the coaching staff. And I know the players might have taken some blame, but I'm really looking at that coaching staff, and they've been a little up and down and quite in a while, and I think they take some blame a few of these games, and examples like those I think were a few of them. Now, in terms of the players, I would say will be for the same reasoning. I want to say B minus for the players because, again, before they've had their ups and downs, but again, though, they've been playing against either weak teams or teams that have been injured. Take the Jets, take Washington, take the Giants, for instance. Take the Atlanta Falcons week 1. Take the Panthers when we came all the way back. Those were teams that the Eagles, especially their players, those were games where the players, once again, they had their opportunities. And you know what? They took advantage of them because you want to know why? They were playing against either weak teams or injured teams. So, and I thought the players, I also thought had pretty decent execution in terms of what they needed to do, and I give them a B minus just because I thought they executed better, and I think more games on the blame, especially on our losses, I felt like it went towards the coaching staff.
Let me ask you a quick question. If this coaching staff wasn't blessed, keyword blessed, with this great offensive line, and they have an average offensive line, well, a slightly above average offensive line, what do you think the rest of this team would look like?
Miami. It'd be just that. We'd be Miami.
No, understand what you're saying. Brian Flores did a crazy job with Miami.
See, with him, I see it both ways. Everyone's like how he did great, but remember, he started off the season with 7 losses. That's
I
what got him
agree.
in trouble.
Gotcha.
That's the issue I have with Flores. He's just like our team, a second half team, a second half coach. You can't do that. You got to be good from the onset.
But the problem, I can say the problem. I can respect where you're coming from with that, and I agree with it. My thing is, if you look at Flores, that team was fighting like hell just to keep and maintain in ball games. But the thing is, you had nowhere. You had weapons galore, but no one to unleash them.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I forgot the London game. They lost this year. Or was it the Ravens game they lost this year? Yeah. Did they lose against Jacksonville? I'm not mistaken.
They got that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so here's my thing.
It was Jacksonville. I would say maybe it was Atlanta, but no, it was Jacksonville.
Yeah, so here's the thing. That I remember watching that game. It wasn't on the defense. The defense held them to like 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just straight up normal gameplay and drives, 7 points. Tua, offense stall, bad field position. Offense stall, bad field position. Had 2 turnovers, put them inside the 20. What you expect your defense to do? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need adequate quarterback play to get you out of certain things. I get that Tua can put up some numbers from time to time, but the thing is, when Tua puts up those numbers, when is it? How is it?
Mm-hmm.
How are the plays developed? Tua wasn't the answer for him.
Well, yeah, because I think it was speculated now, it's been talked about that he wanted Deshaun Watson. He was the big driving force behind it. He wasn't able to get him.
And
he made what he had to do.
Him and Herbert, he wanted.
Yeah. So, well, Herbert. Yeah, that Herbert thing was a
so you get where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah.
You ask the man. Plus, think about this: his first year, it had a mass exodus of vets. Guys saying they quitting on the team because that was supposed to be a tank job. People forget about that. That was established. That was supposed to be David Culley type job when he first got it. Hey, we give you some pieces. All right, that's not happy. Hey, I got to set a culture here. I got to do what I got to do. I got to survive this year. Vets wanted, we're vets. Give us our leeway. That's what happened. The losing happened. Remember, Fitzpatrick wanted, not Fitzpatrick, Minka. Yeah, it is Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah.
Minka Fitzpatrick,
and then it was just a snowball of everybody else. Howard wanted out. All those guys wanted out. Then at the end of that season, young guys stepping up. They're playing fundamentally sound. Okay, good. Boom. As a matter of fact, did he have 2 already year?
He had 2 for the past 2.
Because he was only there 2 years, wasn't he? Or 3?
No, yesterday was yesterday. Last year was his rookie season. He had a split up with Fitzpatrick.
So they paired the first year. It was supposed to be him and Tua. They waited for the hip injury to get healthy. Yep, you're right. So that right there had to be the culture shifter right there. Now you're forcing the guy to play Tua, and Tua isn't, what people were expecting. And it took them a long time to adjust. You get what I'm saying? Let's think about it. That defense came to play every down, every game. Some games, yes, you got to blow it out because, against the Patriots, it is what it is. But understand, with 90% of your games, you're winning because of your defense more than your offense. That's the head coach and his influence on the game versus, how can I say this? Versus, the players actually helping and bailing him out. You know what I'm saying? Because can you name, other than Howard and Byron Jones, can you name anybody else on that defense?
Well, they had Kyle Van Noy until they let go of him, which was stupid.
Hey.
And bring him back to New England.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
That was a bad move, too. That was a horrible move to let Van Noy go.
I don't think it was a horrible move. I think it was a culture-setting move. You get what I'm saying? Somebody had to be an example. Somebody had to understand what the standard is. And just because he's a vet does not mean he's not going to be held to this standard because he's done it somewhere else.
but I think he was brought in to set that culture. That was just like that was your
Exactly.
Patriots guy to bring in, and he played well. He did the role of captain. He played it
But you,
admirably, but it was just like they thought that he made too much, so they just got rid of him.
I get it, and put it this way. And remember, it was an issue with Van Noy and Flores. It was Van Noy's play too. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, excuse me. That's my biggest issue with the Eagles. You have guys like Alex Singleton mulling around. He's a journeyman. Let's call it what it is. He's a journeyman.
yeah.
He's not
I say
smart
he's a
lineman.
special teamer. He's a solid special teamer.
So what I mean by journeyman is I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the Chargers one week, and by the
Yeah,
end of the season, he's on Carolina.
yeah. I can see
But
him
the thing
floating
is,
around practice
he's getting
squads.
snaps. He's getting snaps. I can see him playing still, but if he's getting snaps, the situation's bad.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's a
yeah,
journeyman.
definitely.
He's good enough to be in the league. He has skill set. He can fill in. He can be coached. Blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, he's not talented enough to be an actual starter or a rotation backup.
Mhm.
And you feel comfortable having to go in the game on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
So
let me
that's
ask
what
you
I
both. Go ahead.
and we just have a
Give
quick
us the update. Give
update
us the
on
update.
update on the 49ers Cowboys game. Niners are now up
Come on.
16-7 with a Robbie Gould field goal. So put out the bottles, everybody.
Listen, like I said, I ain't never opened up one of these, but we're gonna do this together. It looks like
And you
we're
know
gonna end
what,
up
Vic?
doing this
I'm right
together.
here with you with my water.
Well, let me ask you this because we're already about an hour and 15 in, a little past that. Let me ask you this last question going forward. What is your confidence level with this team going into next season? Jalen, let me start off with you.
What do you mean by confidence level?
How are you looking at the coaches between Sirianni and Gannon? Jalen Hurts going into next season, the development of the receivers, what we're going to do with our running back. What do you think we're going to? How do you think we're going to look next season? I should say.
So if we go six, it would not surprise me if we go six. If we go 6 and what's it? Not 6 and 10, 6 and 11. It wouldn't surprise me to go 6 and 11. It would not surprise me if we repeated the same record.
So you think there's a possibility of a regression all around?
Absolutely.
Whew.
Think about it.
That's
You played the fourth place schedule this year.
mm-hmm.
Now you're going to play the second place schedule. Think about it. The division is going to get better. Think about it. Washington, if they weren't injured, let's be real. You were in danger. You were in danger against Washington this year. And we know Rivera knows how to coach.
I'll rebuttal that with this. The reason why Washington got better was because of the injuries. It forced them to do things that they weren't doing before. Especially with the defense.
So let me say it like this. Do you think that if Rivera had the personnel he wanted, do you think I'm sorry, if they had started off with the same roster in the beginning and when they played us, do you think we would have still won?
If they had their same roster, would they?
Mm-hmm.
No, they would have won. I don't think so. Because
Why not?
again, we've seen at the beginning of the season, everyone had so high expectations for Chase, he didn't come up. When he got injured, that's when everything changed for that defense. That's when that whole defense had changed. They went into last season, I think it was second in defense, total defense in the NFL. But then when it came up this year, it was just like they knew that they had issues with their linebackers, so they figured that their front four would be able to create enough pressure to alleviate the back end, but that never happened.
So what I'm looking at is you're looking at the defense. I'm looking at the offense.
Oh well, we're looking at two different things.
So our issue is you think about this. How many points did we win that game with? 16.
The first one.
First or the second one, I forgot which one. One of them, I think we had 30. We had 31, but it was late where we took over because he had picks and all that other mess that made it look a bigger gap than what it was.
I think that probably been the first one.
Yeah. Then the second one was pretty close because I think we won 20-16.
We were down
and
at first.
And I was with halfway adequate quarterback. That's with adequate quarterback play, but the rest of the roster is still depleted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's scary right there because Washington, we know, can be better than that if they have guys. I'm a big believer in Rivera. So you think about it, you take 2 losses up, split with Washington, right? You actually ended up splitting with the Giants.
Yeah.
You see what that cluster is over there.
And we got swept by the Cowboys.
Don't
And
remind me.
it going into the season, I can tell you that would happen. And regardless of, I'm being honest, regardless of how I feel about this team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think their talent was better than our talent, even though the coach is very suspect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. My only issue with Rivera is, he had an opportunity to make that team better. When Fitzpatrick was clear not going to be able to play this season, he should have went out and got a quarterback. He shouldn't have just trust Heineke so much because that was the first domino for them. I think that hurt their season.
Do you think that that's more of a him thing, or is it a GM?
Hold on, I didn't get to hear that. 1 second, BLSG. What was
Do you
that?
think that's more of a him thing or more of a GM thing?
Well, for Ron Rivera, I think he's a great coach. Horrible GM. He can't make those personnel decisions. Is he the GM? He's one of those. Huh?
Is he the GM too?
Oh, he runs it. He has player personnel control because Washington is actually being run by a PR firm. They don't know anything about player personnel. That's not their bag. That's not their bag.
You're right.
Yeah, Ron Rivera runs that team. That's why I said great coach, horrible GM. He put them in the position they are this year. The reason why the success and the fall of Washington all goes on Ron Rivera. No one else. Okay. You can't blame Snyder. You can't blame the players. You got to blame it all on Ron.
I can respect that. Yes. But I'm gonna say it like this: he gives up assets to go get a quarterback now, right? What's gonna happen with your what's gonna happen moving forward? You gave up assets for a quarterback. How am I gonna get my franchise guy in? Because guess what? None of the answers they have on the team right now are franchise guys. Right now,
I don't know. They have a good basis. When you look at Antonio Gibson, you got Terry McLaurin. That's a good base right there.
I
and
agree.
They still got what's their backup? I don't remember his name right now.
McKissick.
Oh, McKissick. I'm thinking of the kid from Cincinnati. But yeah, they have a good base. Their offensive line, yeah.
I'm talking about.
Well, they do. What's that other receiver they have? Number 1. I don't remember his name though. He's pretty good.
No. Sim, something like that.
Yeah, he's pretty decent.
But here's the thing: I'm talking about ammo, as in you can put a package together to get a guy that you really want.
Oh well, I think with them, now this year they can't because I think they have 2 first-round picks. So if you move up for them, if I'm Washington or I just say Ron Rivera because he makes all the decisions, I'm gonna use those first 2 picks and move up because I got to get ahead of New York. I got to get ahead of the Giants. If I'm the Washington football team, I have to be the number 4 pick. I need to convince New York to give me that pick because if not, I'm not going to end up with a quarterback. I'm going to have to look for someone else.
Do you trust these quarterbacks in this draft?
There's one I would trust.
Who?
I like Hal. I like him. I think he got a bad shot. Yeah, I think he's going to be a kid that'll surprise people. A lot of people are down on him.
So I watched how what was it last year, and I watched how the one game I saw, it was like the first game of the season this year with him. When he was missing all those guys. Against Virginia Tech, as a matter of fact. Huh?
That whole offensive line.
Think about it, all the weapons left too. Think about it.
Yeah, because was it Javonte Williams is with Denver now?
Yep, Javonte Williams, De'Ami Brown, and Michael Carter.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Javonte Williams was on that team?
Yeah, he was a running back. That's what I'm saying. He lost
Carter was the running back.
Nah, listen, Hal was the team this season. Yeah, they didn't play the greatest, but again, it was just him. You can't say the defense helped out. You can't say no one else on offense. It was literally just him. And I like Kenny Pickett. A lot of people, they talk about Kenny Pickett. He's a 5th-year senior. I got that. But I think in the next level, I think Kenny Pickett, his play will increase. He'll be a good guy. He'll be another one too.
But let me ask the question. The draft picks, I get that. But let me ask the question of, you can also entice some of these veteran guys. Because let's be honest, I think there's going to be put Derek Carr in that situation. Cost them a second and a third round pick to go get Derek Carr. Well, no, that's not the right price for Derek Carr. Give
Now,
up a
Derek, you got
first
to give up at
two
least a
thirds.
first. Yeah,
First and
he's a
two
gamer.
thirds. Yeah, so give up first and 2/3 for Derek Carr. Now let's play that. Now let's play it back. Do you think the Eagles are anywhere close to competing with Washington?
Nah, because Derek Carr's a dog. I mean, look what he did. Look what he did with the Raiders this season.
I
If
agree.
he put that energy with that Washington team, and if they were receptive enough to listen, I think Washington would probably be in here right now playing for a thing. They wouldn't even be a wild card. They'd have a first round bye.
But I don't think that's highly of him. But I get what you're saying. But I'll say it like this: Derek Carr is what, a top 12, 14?
I'm gonna give him the 15. I'm gonna put him in that range. He got up 20s. He's in the mid teens.
I'll put him lower. I think he's better than a lot of people say he is. I think he's closer to 12, 14. I think he's closer to 10, 14 than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits in that bracket, but you think about it, guys. I think every quarterback except, what did you say? Every quarterback? Every quarterback except Big Ben and Jalen Hurts is better than him in the playoffs right now.
Every quarterback except for Big Ben and Jalen? I don't know. Mac Jones. I'm not going to put him up there either. He was horrible yesterday.
You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot about Mac Jones.
Mac Jones
So that's four. So it's 4 out of how many teams? 14 teams. So that's 10 guys ahead of them right there.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the next tier. Who missed out this year? Who was that special or that guy? Lamar. And I'm not saying Lamar is 11. I don't think Lamar is 11, but I'm saying, these are just the guys that you clearly say, yeah, he's better than them.
I'm going to say Lamar is high teens, low 20s right now.
I'd have to disagree with that because Lamar had to put the cape on so much. That's what made him look so bad. Versus them being able to run their regular offense. And guess what? He plays within schedule. He makes that one play like, oh, damn. And next thing you know, Baltimore's worn you down. The defense is solid and consistent. Now, Lamar's dropped a dime for 30 yards over our head. What the hell are we going to do now?
But that dime is always to the tight end. It's never like this season he got that relationship with Hollywood Brown. They had a little bit better chemistry this season. But for the most part, his tight end has been his saving grace. If it wasn't for that tight end, Lamar Jackson would not be the quarterback everyone thinks he is.
I agree, but guess what? You really want to count on the rest of that talent. Hollywood Brown is not good. Let's be real.
Yeah, they had Sammy Watkins. They thought that would be an upgrade.
So let me say it like this. John Brown from like 3 or 4 seasons ago and Hollywood Brown right now are the same person.
Yeah.
The difference is one has a name, the other one didn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sammy Watkins is a shell of himself. You get what I'm saying?
He get into the league, he was a shell of himself.
Yeah. He had 1 or 2 years.
Clemson Sammy was way different than Buffalo Sammy.
Where?
I said Clemson Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins is vastly different than NFL.
Sammy Watkins was a meteor his freshman year.
Yeah.
Man, but you got to understand, same thing with Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah. Yeah, but I see that starts falling off too.
Yep. I would say in Ndamukong Suh to a lesser degree. And Ndamukong Suh was a Pro Bowler, a consistent guy, but he was in college. I had never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
I had never seen a grown man. Can I cuss?
Go ahead.
I ain't never seen a grown man bitch another grown man like that. I was that shit was crazy in college.
He had different kind of strength. When he came in, how they say country strong? Nah. He was something above country strong. It was ridiculous.
That was anger. That was anger, rage. And when he put his hands on you, he meant to fuck you up off that shit. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
like I remember he punched like not a punch, like a physical punch. He got his hands in the chest of the dude. The dude head snapped back so goddamn far. I thought he broke his damn neck. I was like, God damn.
he was something to be feared.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was
That
something to be
that
reckoned with, man.
BLSG. How old are you?
15.
You would have been like what? 5?
5. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but you gotta check out the YouTube tapes on that.
So do you understand what I'm talking about? Go look up in Ndamukong Suh college highlights.
Nebraska.
Unreal.
And that was crazy too. Came out of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Even that team, you know, it was a Bo Pelini defense back then. Like he was the one that basically like ran that defense. It all came through him.
And here's the thing, BLSG, just a little history. You ever seen Jadeveon Clowney play in college?
No, I have not.
Okay. Watch Jadeveon Clowney. Remember they were talking about Jadeveon Clowney as a generational talent, right? Then go watch Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
That,
everyone
Clowney
got that clout off that 3rd-and-1 play against Michigan. That was very hype.
Yeah. But no, the thing is, what was crazy was in high school, because I think, how old is Clowney now? Like 20?
27 or 28.
Yeah, so when Clowney was going into college, I think it was like my senior year or junior year, something like that. And I'm watching that going forward. Oh my God. What was crazy was watching his highlights. Him and Robert Kimdichie in high school.
Yeah.
They were 6'4", 3, freak of nature out there, grown men chasing down kids and look crazy. Like I don't know if you know who Robert Kimdichie is. BLSG.
Wait, Rob Ninkovich, you mean?
No, Robert Kimdichie.
Oh, then I had no idea.
Okay, Robert Kimdichie was a D tackle who got drafted by Arizona in the first round.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Yep. When I tell you, Robert Kimdichie played running back at 300 pounds in high school and was toting that joke. You said concussed. He was toting that bitch. I'm talking about fucking niggas up, toting that bitch.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry. But like I'm talking about toting, like dragging kids. Like you ever seen the mascots versus kids game?
It's like watching the old highlights of Jordan Mailata run the ball in Australian. What is that? Rugby.
Exactly. That's like Jordan Mailata.
He would carry cats around.
Rugby. He's saying, "Yo, get out of my way, man! I'm running some more."
I'm talking about crazy. I'm talking about that was crazy, man.
Yeah, he had some wild talent.
Yeah. Robert Kimdichie.
PLSG. Let me ask you a quick question though. What do you see in the Eagles going into next season?
Well, depending on what our 3 first-round picks look like now, and especially all the picks that we have apart from the first rounders, that all depends on Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman needs to make the moves, and he better make the right moves because you know what? Jeffrey Lurie finds Howie Roseman to be like his best friend, his young little brother over here, and you know what Jeffrey Lurie's going to do? He's going to keep Howie Roseman for probably eternity and probably not even let him go. He'll probably keep him until he's freaking 90 years old. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says, but Howie Roseman, if you're still our GM, which you probably will be next season, you better make the right moves. You better make the right draft picks. You better draft for need, not draft another quarterback, not draft, probably maybe a CB2. You better not draft what we do not need. You better draft for need. You better make the right moves in free agency, and you better make some freaking good trades because that is how this organization will succeed going forward. We barely succeeded this season. We went 9-8 and only beat weak teams or injured teams. And when we faced playoff teams, we looked like absolute garbage. And you know what? We have to look better against those playoff teams. So it's time for Howie Roseman. It's time for you to make the right moves, and it's time for Jalen Hurts has to get better. I understand that. Darius Slay, he's gonna keep on producing. Devontae Smith, he's gonna get better as he goes along. He eventually will have his 1,000-yard season. But you know what? Everybody is going to get better. All the young ones are going to get better. Devontae Smith, Lane Dickerson, Milton Williams. Everybody's going to get better, especially Jalen Hurts. He's going to get better. He's going to get more accurate. But you know what? All the moves going forward, man, that all depends on Howie.
Let me throw something else in there for y'all. Got two players here. Deion Jones and Leonard. Jacksonville linebacker Myers Jack.
Miles Jack.
Miles Jack.
How much did y'all give up for both of them? Because think about it.
Well, aren't they? They're not high on Jack though, right? Jacksonville's not high on Jack.
Yep. And think about this.
I'm lowballing. I'm lowballing. I'm offering a fifth to see what we're talking about. I'm gonna start it off with a fifth. Just a flyer, just to open up the conversation. I won't go into the third round range because again, they're not high on him. So like I said, for Gardner Minshew, everyone's gonna be like, you can't get him for a fifth. Throw a fourth out to Jacksonville, get yourself a linebacker.
See, I say fourth and a sixth one. And just say,
I'll throw in the six. I have no problem with that. If that's what it needs to get the job done, yeah.
You got 2 hours to make this. You got 2 hours of this deal on the table.
Oh, I'm doing it. For fourth and sixth, sign over. Heartbeat.
You know what?
No.
You know
That's how
what?
you approach Jacksonville.
You know what?
Here's the thing. Fourth and a sixth.
Here's the thing. We need a linebacker. You know what? Miles Jack. I'm going for that. For that.
I would definitely offer a fourth and a sixth. I have no problem with it.
Now Deion Jones in play.
Oh. I may if I can get it off. I'm not going to go any higher than the third. I'm not trying to go any higher. I'm not going to waste a second. I 100%
agree with you. I'm not giving up premium high picks in the NFL draft because our cap is awful. Let's be real. Yes, we have cap room, but guess what? Look how much credit card debt you got on that.
Yeah. Look how much is about to be accrued because you got to think about these players going forward. They're going to be looking for contracts. Jalen Hurts, again, this season was his evaluation to see if he can be a starting quarterback. Now that he is going forward, will he get that contract? That's what next season is about. That's what the evaluation for next season is.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Because think about it. This is the start. Year 2 is in the books. Year 3 is here. Now, it's the prep work to year 3, but it's year 3 for Hurts right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Contract-wise, year 3 for Hurts right now. He is finished being paid as a Philadelphia Eagles for the 2021-2022 season.
Yep.
Year 3 is now here. So, let's talk about this. Hurts may not need a contract and may not get a contract, but you still need to have that money accounted for. I agree. I'm full aboard with the Dallas Goedert contract. I am full aboard with this Jordan Mailata contract. The one contract extension that I'm questioning a bit is Skip Bob, Maddox. And I like that. But here's the thing. Is Maddox worth the contract extension?
I think it depends on the amount. I think Maddox. I think we can sign Maddox.
What they offer him and depends what he wants.
I think he got like.
I think they'll offer him like 6-7 a year.
No, he already got the extension.
But I'm saying, the extension. What is it? A 2-year or 3-year?
3-year deal. Avante Maddox contract, right? 3 years for 23. So basically, say 7.5 per year.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah. That's close to about. That's close to about $8 million a year.
Yeah, so 7.5 a year. 7.5 a year is what you're giving Avante Maddox.
Yeah.
For you're talking about like for a slot corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think for right now, how he played, you're gonna leave Avante right now. The big question for our quarterbacks is Steven Nelson. Is he going to be re-signed?
Walk.
Steve Nelson. Goodbye.
That's the thing. Will he be re-signed?
Here's my thing. Like I didn't get the big hoopla for the guy because I get he was a lot better than what we had as our options. But the thing
Hmm.
is, I was looking at it like this. There's a reason why the Steelers didn't want Steven Nelson around. You get what I'm saying? Steelers fans hated him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he's just supposed to be that guy for us? No. No. You expecting him to be a upper tier number 2 cornerback? No. No, he's a journeyman. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
what's the dude? Think about a guy like Bashard Breeland. Think about it. That's the caliber of guy you got in here. Difference is Steven Nelson is more consistent than Rashard Breeland, but Breeland makes bigger plays.
Yeah. He makes a
Pick
lot
your
of mistakes
poison.
too. He
Like I
makes
said,
huge mistakes.
he makes bigger plays, but pick your poison with him. He's up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be an interesting off season. But with that being said, I'm already at the 140 mark. You know, fellas, thank you for coming through because this is going to be the last post game show of the season. So you know we're done. The post game show is done for this year. I may do something for maybe some playoff teams, but as for the Philadelphia's, you know, Vick3 presents the post panel, excuse me,
Post-game panel
post
show.
game panel show. Yeah, we're done for this season. So everyone that came through, man, I appreciate it. BLSG, Jalen, thank you for coming through, my guys. BLSG, let's start off with you. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, first of all, before I do that, Vic, first of all, it's been great for you doing the Eagles post-game panel show and for me being on for most of them because I know I've not been on all of them. Second of all, the Cowboys, they're down what are they? Down 16-9 at the half or something.
It's halftime now? All right, cool.
Yeah, I think it's halftime. I forget what the score is. I can look right now. Just give me 1 second. Give me a second. It's not going to take me long, hopefully. Hold the phone. Yeah, they're down 16-7. So, fellas, especially for the Cowboy fans, we are 1/2 away from landing on your team. Vic, where's the bottle? Where's the bottle?
God, listen.
You know I got mine.
Listen,
You
your
know I
guy,
got mine.
when I promise
are
y'all
1
something,
hour.
I
We
follow
are
through with these
1/2 away.
promises.
That's that
1/2
Don
away.
Perignon right there.
Listen,
I
we are
told-
1/2
listen.
away from
It's not Don Perry.
on
It's more of a champibble. It's not really a champagne, a champibble.
Hey,
Listen,
listen
That's some
we
stripper
run-
name.
listen.
Say some stripper name. This
Listen,
guy says
listen.
that.
Listen, YouTube ain't paying me enough to get the Don P, but I'm gonna get the. This is for Cowboys fans, so the cheapest bottle would work.
Hey, listen though. Listen, we are 1/2 away from ranting on the Cowboys, and then you know what, toasting it up. Even though we did end up losing, you know what, we can celebrate and rant about these Cowboys, and can stop hearing them troll on us and saying, "Oh, the Eagles suck," because you know what, Cowboys. If y'all lose this game, y'all did the same thing, and you know what? You don't have the right to talk smack about us, even though we lost because you guys lost. On top of that, so if you lose, we're still ranting about you guys. No matter what happens, if you guys lose, we're doing the same thing that you guys probably did to us before your game even started. And y'all can find me on YouTube, BLSG. Search that in the search bar right now. If you are subscribed to me, appreciate you. If you're not, you're living under a rock. What are you waiting for? Do that right now. Follow me on Twitter, BLSG20. Give your boy a follow. And yeah, man, this was a little up and down season, but you know what? Let's retool. Let's rebuild. Let's get next season. But as always, man, even though we went 9-8 this season and didn't play as great as we thought, it'll always be fly with fly. Go Birds. And if the Cowboys lose this game, be ready for us to troll.
Hey man, I love the energy. I love where you're coming from, my guy. Let me just say thank you because you are always one of the first guys to you'll share it out there. And like I said, you come through. So I appreciate you so much, BLSG. We're gonna do this more. This ain't gonna be the last episode just for this season. But Jalen, let the good people at home know where they can find you.
All right, you can hit me on Cash App. It's Jalen Williams. JAELEN58. All donations are accepted. Don't care what you call it. I will accept it, even if it's a
no
dollar.
sum is too small.
Hey, like Kanye West had an album out there. I'm part of that broke fraternity. You feel me?
Yeah.
I need money.
And remember that from How High I Need Money?
Yeah. Hey man,
Hey, let me just say, yeah, right. Let me just say, everybody out there, who came through, who watched, who will watch in the future, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming through. You know who it is. It's Vick3. You see me on the chat. You'll see me on the Twitter. You may possibly be seeing me in the next half hour, 45 minutes, popping off this lovely bottle for the 27th year. We will be celebrating the 27th year of the Cowboys' demise live. Again, by 2-minute warning, if Cowboys are down, I will be coming back on. We're going to pop this baby off.
And Vic, one more thing though. I just got a notification on my phone. So you know Landon Vander Esch on the Cowboys, right? On his jersey, they spelled his name wrong. They spelled part of his name wrong. They
Hey man, they're a bunch of no names. That's why.
The S and the C are supposed to be flip-flop. And I think that's no wonder why that the Cowboys are losing the 49ers, because you know what? They have some bad luck, and you know what? They spelled the name of Leighton Vander Esch wrong on his jersey. Like, what in the world?
Hey, man, he don't get that respect, garbage. But
Also,
like I said, everyone, go ahead.
Also, before we go, personally, just like to thank you, Vic, for hosting this show, man. Everybody who's been up here, everybody in the chat, honest to God, man, we appreciate you having this show, man. Finally made a channel. You made a spot for us, man. You invited me through. Man, you know I'm like that dude that show up to a party with nothing in his hands, but you know. Hey, I'm here to
but that's why you always get the invite, because you that fun guy.
Hey, I ain't fun, man. Don't tell people.
Hey, man, I appreciate you both for always coming through, for showing that support, man. Like I said, we're going to get together again. This ain't going to be the last. But everybody, Eagles fans out there, I know we didn't win today. I know it's not the outcome that we wanted. But guess what? We have a promising team going forward into the future. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that have to be made, but that's what the offseason is about. We got to keep on, creating the suspense, keep the drama flowing. But for Vick3, BLSG, go ahead.
Let me ask one question for the viewers going forward. Will there be any draft coverage, free agent coverage, any of that stuff going forward?
Oh, definitely. Your guy's going to be all over it. And before I leave, thank you for stopping. Let's talk about a draft pick that we had that I not agree with. And earlier in the season, I wanted him out of here. A player by the name of Derek Barnett. I had a nice conversation with a Philly content creator, a wonderful gentleman by the name of Philadelphia Mike. Sir, the season is now over. Derek Cox did not reach those 6 sacks. I'm going to send you my Cash App, send that 100 my way. We'll pop bottles together. We'll pop bottles together, Mike. Listen, everybody that came through, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for making this so much fun for me. Again, I don't do this for the likes. I don't do this for subscribers or nothing. I do this for the opportunity to talk to my guys, talk football the way it should be. So everybody, I hope to see you all again next season. Again, you will always catch me on the big ticket. You will always catch me on East Meets West with my guys, AK Eagles Uncensored, and Philly Foothills. My guy, I love you. Jalen, BLSG, thank you so much. Everybody, have a great night. Hey! And let's get rid of Jonathan Gannon.
And Derek Barnett.
Don't forget, I'll be popping bottles as soon as the Cowboys celebrate their 7th year of nothingness. Stay tuned.
Same age as me.
Same here.